Pose star Billy Porter has blazed a trail on Broadway in Hollywood, and now the Emmy, Tony, and Grammy winner is opening up, revealing he has been living with HIV for 14 years. He spoke out for the first time this morning on the Tamron Hall Show. Sandy Kenyon joins us with more.
Billy Porter won an Emmy for his role as Pray Tell on the FX series Pose. Now he's revealing, just like his character, he's been living with HIV. Porter says he was first diagnosed in 2007 and kept it secret for the last 14 years. He says as a gay man, a black man with a religious upbringing, he carried shame about his diagnosis and did not want to come forward. But during the pandemic, Porter says he had time to reflect, and this morning he did speak to Tamron Hall.
Shalom, like to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, like give double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations to, I used to say, I can push this word across the four corners of the world. And this is an article from NewYorkTimes.com, and the title says, Billy Porter reveals he has been HIV positive for 14 years. And this so-called revealing has been plastered on all these major social media platforms and all these different major TV networks. And here's a picture of the Jake, which is a flamer. And it says right here, the actor told the Hollywood Reporter that he had feared disclosing it would give another way for people to discriminate against me in an already discriminatory profession. And this article came out today, May 19, 2021. So this Jake right here, of course, he's into the Hollywood entertainment industry, which they heavily promotes Satanism, homosexuality, you know, the list goes on, which are nothing but abominations to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The Tony and Emmy Award winning actor Billy Porter disclosed in an interview with a Hollywood Reporter published on Wednesday that he learned he had HIV in 2007 and hid the information from colleagues for over a decade, fearing discrimination in the entertainment industry. I was trying to have a life and a career, and I wasn't certain I could if the wrong people knew. Porter, 51, said in an interview, it would just be another way for people to discriminate against me in an already discriminatory profession. He also described the shame he felt having grown up in a Pentecostal church and in a very religious family, and how he had been afraid to tell his mother for 14 years. It's time to grow up and move on because shame is destructive, and if not dealt with, it can destroy everything in its path. He said of his decision to talk about the diagnosis now. Porter said that he was able to work through the shame through his role on the FX series Pose, which centers on the ballroom scene during the AIDS epidemic of the 1980s and 90s in New York City. Porter's character, a ballroom MC and elder of the community, received a diagnosis of HIV in the first season and struggles to share the info with the group. So yeah, that's pretty much it on that. And as you can see from this photo right here, our people have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. And let's get that in Jeremiah, the 5th chapter, in the 26th verse. For among my people, meaning the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans. So you have a mass majority of our people, which are considered as the 2/3, or heavily indulged into the fashion of this world. And part of the fashion of this world is homosexuality, which are nothing but abominations to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It's impure. So it says, for among my people are found wicked men. So now it makes much more sense when you read the book of John, the 8th chapter, when Yahushua is talking to those wicked Jews, those wicked niggas, that he was telling them, you are your father the devil, and the lust of your father you would do. So fast forward to nowadays, in an overall sense, 2/3 of our people are still in that same type of mindset. They're following after the ways of this devil, Esau, Edom, following after the fashion of this world, drinking that Babylonian wine. And by drinking that Babylonian wine, they have become poison of the philosophies and the dogma of this world. So that's why it says, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. We'll just get to the point, verse 28. They are waxing fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. So first and foremost, by default, beginning with Esau, Edom, he's a homosexual by nature. But 2/3 of our people, when they become a homosexual, they are a flaming or flamboyant homosexual. Just like this Jake right here, for example. So you already know with Esau, Edom, and these other nations, they love to see the men of our nation being emasculated, just like this guy right here. Because you're no longer a threat to Esau's rulership. So a lot of our people are caught up into the falsehoods of this world, but not knowing that this current world, this current rulership is going to be destroyed very soon. And the ones of our people that are subscribing to the thoughts, the mindset of this world, they're going to be destroyed right along with it. So this is our law as the Israelites, according to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that we're supposed to keep. And this is Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, the 17th verse. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. And that's exactly what America pushes out, that vibration of whoredom. And that type of wicked philosophy has transferred to all the four corners of this world. And now these other nations are pursuing the ways of America, which is Babylon the Great. So it says, there should be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. So the Most High gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to adhere by. If we make that breach of contract, there are consequences. So that's why I stated in Leviticus, the 20th chapter and the 13th verse, if a man also lied with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. And it goes on to say they should surely be put to death. But according to this wicked setup, which is ran by Esau Edom, they are given rights. They are given privileges. They are given accolades. They are given freedom of speech. So this is just one of the many things why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to destroy this place. So earlier today in my gig, in the lobby, the TV was left on this show called Tamara Hall Show, which is hosted by a so-called black woman. And she was interviewing this flamer by the name of Billy Porter about his new so-called revelation of this HIV ordeal. So within the show or interview, she was feeling very sorrowful for him. She was commending him, having sympathy for him. But according to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, via the word, that's wicked. It's off. So let's get that in the book of Proverbs, the 17th chapter and 15th verse. He that justified the wicked. So when you justify something, that means you're declaring to make something or someone righteous or justly. So in this case, she's justifying about homosexuality being okay. It's being righteous. But according to the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, via the scriptures, it's not. So it says, he that justified the wicked and he that condemned the just, even they both are abomination to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So just like doing the act of homosexuality is an abomination, so that particular person who's doing the act and someone that's justifying for that wickedness are both abominations. And you go into the word abomination, it goes into abominable, and it also goes into the Latin phrase away from men. So when you're away from men or man, that means you're beastly. You're not governed by no type of order. And the true order is the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's why the scriptures call them natural brute beasts. Now, I remember back in the high school days, you had a small few of those flamers. And, you know, of course, Jake didn't accept them, but it was mostly accepted by so-called black women, just like in today's society. So even though this Tamara Hall hostess, she's not the creator of the show because she's ran by these Edomites, of course, but what she's doing is still being justifiable according to the wicked. So she's abomination just like this guy, Billy Porter, is. And this is the book of Romans, the 1st chapter, the 25th verse. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie? So let's answer that according to the book of Psalm, the 50th chapter, and the 16th verse. But unto the wicked, the Most High said, and the wicked, you read the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter, it tells you that Esau, Edom, is the border of wickedness. What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Because America's supposed to be a God-fearing nation, you swear upon the Bible, which is off according to the scriptures, but you don't do the things that are written within the scriptures. So that's why the Most High is sarcastically asking, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes and take my covenant in thy mouth? First and foremost, by default, you are already profane to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which means outside the temple. But here you are trying to declare the Most High's statutes, his covenant. So by Esau doing it, by taking the Most High's precious word and not following or abiding by it, that's just another reason why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to destroy this place. Verse 17, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. And let's get that in the book of Proverbs, the 4th chapter and the 2nd verse. If I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. So that's a part of the Most High's instructions. And he gives us the instructions, according to the book of Leviticus, the 20th chapter, the 13th verse, how to handle that matter. So, of course, dealing with Esau, Edom, as it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, that which was made crooked cannot be made straight. So he's the ultimate can't get right. So anything that's dealing with having morals, integrity, having a righteous standard, he's totally adverse to righteousness. He's contrary to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's why he's known as Satan. He's the adversary. So he's the opposition to righteousness. And this is Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and their right grievousness which they have prescribed. And that's only by Esau, Edom. They didn't want to give out these policies, these different mandates and decrees, make these different laws. So they put away the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And Esau is so proud enough to come up with his own laws, statutes, and commandments. And you have 2/3 of our people subscribe cold-heartedly unto it. Which leads me right back to Romans 1:25, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator. And that's 2/3 of our people. As it says in the book of 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, the 3rd verse, that if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And how the God of this world have blinded the minds of them that believe not. So 2/3 of our people do not subscribe to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. They are rather subscribe to the ways of Esau, Edom, the fashion of this world. And part of the fashion of this world is pushing homosexuality abroad, making it more acceptable, making it to be smiled upon. But frown upon a man that has more than one woman, or a man that has a very masculine spirit, which is new speaking, they'll call it toxic masculinity. So as you can see, with this wicked setup, things are turned upside down. So it's headed for destruction. And it says, who is blessed forever among, for this cause the Most High gave them up into vile affections. So when something is vile, it's abominably wicked. It's foul. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Verse 27, likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burnt in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving themselves that recompense, meaning a payback of their error, which was meat. You know, in a month online, you go into the word sodomy, one of the definitions say unnatural sexual relations. And if you go into the blue letter for the Strong's for the word Sodom in the Old Testament, it goes into a burning. And we already know about biblical history, what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah and those other ancient cities along with them. So here it is with America want to follow right after Sodom and Gomorrah and those other ancient cities and do even worse. But those particular cities like Sodom and Gomorrah, they was made as examples of what not to do. If you're doing this type of wickedness or disorder, these are the consequences of it. So that's why the scriptures say how Esau, he cast the Most High's words behind him. So right here it says, and receiving themselves their recompense of their error, which was meat. And this is an article right quick from New York Times. And it says, new homosexual disorder worries health officials. And this was published on May 11, 1982. And just to get to the point, it says, moreover, this immune system breakdown, which has been implicated in a rare type of cancer called Kaposi's sarcoma, it seems to invite in its wake a wide variety of serious infections and other disorders. So another word for disorder is confusion, because a man lying down with another man or a woman sleeping with another woman, that is total confusion. Then you will swap back to the opposite sex like it's nothing. And it says, has developed among some heterosexual women and bisexual and heterosexual men. At a recent congressional hearing, Dr. Bruce A. Chabner of the National Cancer Institute said that the growing problem was now a concern to all Americans. The cause of the disorder is unknown. Researchers call it AID, for Acquired Immune Deficiency Disease, or GRID, G-R-I-D, which means gay-related immune deficiency. So that's that recompense that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua put upon anybody doing those homosexual acts. So before it was called AIDS, which means Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, they was calling it GRID, gay-related immune deficiency. So dealing with Esau, they wanted to be politically correct and just call it AIDS or AIDS and not GRID, which means gay-related immune deficiency. So back in Romans 1:28, and even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua poured out that reprobate spirit upon anyone, our people, and just these other nations as well, that are caught up into those wicked abominations. And just for them to be destroyed after all. And this guy right here, he's no different, So Lord willing, with that, you all is edified. You all stay strong. Shalom.
My stomach just felt like it was always in knots. It felt like there was a hand on my heart squeezing every day, all day. Every morning I would wake up with dread and try to find my way to work through it.